Okay, here's further proof that the Western media is lying to us about this mystery outbreak that's happening in Ukraine. This mystery flu outbreak that's killing many of the people that infects a very high percentage, and they die within 1 to 2 days. Anyway, this is what Western media is saying. All the headlines. Ukraine bans big crowds to combat swine flu. New York Times. Ukraine goes into lockdown after swine flu. Euronews. 48 die of swine flu in Ukraine. Taiwan News. Now, if you actually go to the New York Times article, it says Ukraine bans big crowds to combat swine flu. As you read, it says federal health officials have said that 33 people had died from the flu across the country, although there was conflicting information about which type of virus was to blame. So you can see, they don't think it was swine flu at all. Actually, if you ask any of the doctors from the Ukraine, they say that they know it wasn't swine flu. This article here says 40,000 contracted serious virus in Ukraine, kills 30. Now this is a little old news, so the number's off, but as you can read, it says tests are currently being conducted, and all is known is that it is not the H1N1 swine flu. Here's another Ukraine article. Virus H1N1 not to blame for fatal cases in western Ukraine. And another one. Unidentified flu outbreak in western Ukraine. So who are you going to believe, folks? These reporters that are told what to report sitting in their little office in America, or somebody that's actually in Ukraine, actually knows what's going on? Huh? Alright, I stumbled across some more websites that I feel that the world has to know about. Now, these websites were originally reported in Ukrainian language, but I had them translated here, so you're going to have a hard time finding them on the internet. But luckily, I read some message boards where I got some good links here. So this one says, pneumonic plague or mutated swine influenza, people continue to die. So it's either a pneumonic plague, which is a bacterial infection, or it could be caused by viral, I think, and then, or it's a mutated form of the H1N1, so it's not the form that they've been vaccinating against in our country. So it says about 3,000 citizens now of Ukraine, more than 1,000 residents of Belarus. It is not known how many Russian citizens, all of them were victims of an unknown virus. As noted by some doctors, a virus mutant cannot be cured by any known drugs for influenza or the plague. So they don't even have drugs to treat this. Another interesting fact is the majority of the deaths during the life of almost burned lungs. You know, this is a little screwy in the translation, but it says that the temperature inside the lungs reached 55 degrees. Now I put that into Google, that's 130 something degrees Fahrenheit, okay? Their lungs basically melted and filled with blood. Symptoms of pneumonic plague virtually no different from the symptoms of swine flu. Identify it only bacteriologically examination. So you can't tell by the symptoms here. You can only tell after an autopsy or a culture test of some sort. Now here's some other websites that I came across that are interesting. They also have been testing for anthrax, so they know it wasn't anthrax. The results came back negative. This one says acute respiratory disease of unknown etiology, 22 deaths. Now that's obviously a big, but that was reported on the 29th, so that was a couple days ago. It was the 22 deaths, and they didn't know what it was then either. In western Ukraine, a mysterious epidemic is raging, from which 20 people have died. This article right here swine flu confirmed in 11 cases in Ukraine. 4 of them in live. So they only have 11 confirmed cases of swine flu in Ukraine. Obviously, this wasn't the swine flu that's killing people. It's something else. It's a form of pneumonic plague, and I pray for everybody's safety at this point. This is a website where I came across a bunch of the links. It's the International Society for Infectious Diseases. So if you guys go here, you might be able to get some updates that are translated from Ukrainian language, because obviously we can't get any good news from the mainstream media here. They're just lying to us, saying it was H1N1. It's not, folks. This is not the novel form of H1N1. Vaccines against it will not work. They say there's no medicine for it, okay? Just try and take your vitamins, maybe get some colloidal silver or something. It's about the best.
I tell you, is documented, is documented, is documented, is documented. They estimate that just the vitamin and mineral guideline alone, when it goes into global implementation on December 31st, 2009, will result in a minimum of 3 billion deaths. That's how codex work, how codex work, how codex work, how codex work. They created a trade commission called the Codex Alimentarius Commission. It is not a public health commission. It is not a consumer protection commission. 1 billion through simple starvation, but the next 2 billion. They will die from the preventable diseases of undernutrition. What we're talking about is clinically significant nutrients are now illegal. Every animal used for food on the planet must be treated with subclinical antibiotics.
Is this for real? When I first started introducing this subject to people, the reaction was, oh, don't be so stupid, they're not going to do anything like that. And I said, well, you know, believe it or not, that's exactly what they want you to think. Never heard of Codex? That's exactly what they want. The Codex agenda, only low-potency supplements available that will do nothing for your health. All or most foods genetically modified, and any beneficial supplements unavailable or sold only by prescription.
Who will live? Probably those people who are wealthy enough and powerful enough to have their own pushers of clean food and nutrients. You and I? Probably not. Our children?
I don't have to tell you things are bad. Everybody knows things are bad. It's a depression. Everybody's out of work or scared of losing their job. The dollar buys a nickel's worth. Banks are going bust. Shopkeepers keep a gun under the counter. Punks are running wild in the streets. There's nobody anywhere who seems to know what to do, and there's no end to it. We know the air is unfit to breathe, and our food is unfit to eat. We sit watching our TVs while some local newscaster tells us that today we had 15 homicides and 63 violent crimes, as if that's the way it's supposed to be. We know things are bad, worse than bad. They're crazy. It's like everything everywhere is going crazy, so we don't go out anymore. We sit in the house, and slowly the world we're living in is getting smaller, and all we say is, please, at least leave us alone in our living rooms. Let me have my toaster and my TV and my steel-belted radios, and I won't say anything. Just leave us alone. Well, I'm not going to leave you alone. I want you to get mad. I don't want you to protest. I don't want you to riot. I don't want you to write to your congressman because I wouldn't know what to tell you to write. I don't know what to do about the depression and the inflation and the Russians and the crime in the streets. All I know is that first, you've got to get mad. You've got to say, I'm a human being. God damn it. My life has value. So, I want you to get up now. I want all of you to get up out of your chairs. I want you to get up right now and go to the window, open it, and stick your head out and yell, "I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not going to take this anymore!"